Vladimir Putin orders a mirror response after the U.S. tests a previously banned type of missile just weeks after pulling out of an arms control treaty. The Russian president claims Washington could now deploy its new weapon globally.
This all leaves zero doubt about America's real intentions. Having got rid of the existing limits, it's now free to deploy previously forbidden missiles anywhere in the world.
Analysis, we go live to geopolitical expert JAVED RANA. President Putin wants to see a symmetrical response. That's what we've heard today. It's likely then that the U.S. will have an answer to that, and so on and so forth. In your opinion, are we seeing a new arms race underway?
Well, Russia has been dragged into a new arms race. That's quite obvious. INF treaty is all over. That means the new arms race between Russia and the U.S., between China and the U.S., and then it is going to have a trickle-down effects onto the other countries which are possessing nuclear weapons, between Pakistan and India, and then we have North Korea, and something we least discuss about Israel. So I think in a broader picture, in coming days and months and years, we will find that there is going to be new arms race. And this is a dangerous arms race. These are unconventional weapons. You know, the use of these weapons could destroy this entire world. Nuclear war in any part of the world means the nuclear war everywhere in the world. So Americans are dragging themselves into a very different situation. They are not understanding. And let me give you a bigger geopolitical situation, the scenario that has built over the period of time. And that is, there is a greater realization by the Americans that perhaps Russia is emerging and they are in one way or the other restoring the image of the ex-Soviet Union. And they are trying to now create a situation whereby they want to let the world know that Russia is a threat. So they have withdrawn from the INF treaty, something they have already done. And then they have started their own missiles testing, which is a clear message to Russia that they will have to come up with a similar response, something President Putin said that he will soon come up with a similar response. But this is going to have a huge impact on the world politics. They cannot play with the nuclear weapons. And this treaty, by the way, produced a huge results. By 1991, more than 2,600 missiles of short-range nuclear-capable missiles were destroyed both by Russia and the U.S. Now, with this INF treaty is all over, everything is open. I mean, every country, particularly Russia, China, and the U.S., they would go for similar testing. They will go for long-range missiles testing. And that's a very dangerous scenario, because at a time when these powers need to play their role to cool down temperature in South Asia, to cool down temperature in the Korean Peninsula, when these bigger powers are fighting with each other, when they cannot have an agreement with each other, they cannot sustain an agreement. That's a very, very negative message. But let me give it a little more bigger explanation, and that is that US is a dying superpower. In terms of economy, it's not in as good shape as it used to be. In terms of its military power, it's not as strong as it used to be. It has lost battles against Taliban. 70% of Afghan Talibans are controlling the territory. And similarly, in the Middle East, US had a very tough time at the hands of Russia. And then the episode we had in Ukraine, Crimea, all these indicators are that the Americans, in one way or the other, they are carrying some sort of perception that Russia is a threat. So in order to counter that threat, they have come out of INF. And I fear that sooner or later, the similar treaty is going to be also expired in 2021. And then it is going to be open race for all these countries.
We're speaking right now to geopolitical expert JAVED RANA. JAVED, if you could stay on the line, we'd like to come back to you just a little bit further in the program to get further insight from you. JAVED RANA back in now with us. Now, JAVED, without the INF treaty anymore in existence, how much more dangerous is the world? Where is this leading us?
Well, it's a very dangerous message which is being trickled down. a dangerous message to the third world countries, dangerous message to the aspiring countries which want to have nuclear weapons, but because of the geopolitical situation, because of the American pressure, they have not been able to get it. My reference is towards Iran, my reference is towards Pakistan, North Korea, and India. They are all the nuclear weapon states. The underlying message to them that they need to strengthen their nuclear stockpile. The underlying message to every other countries, even to the Saudi Arabias, because Saudi Arabia feels that Iran is going to become a nuclear power sooner or later. They have also indicated that they also want to become a nuclear power. That is also a message for the Turkey, because Turkey feels threatened by right from within the NATO, because the US in one way or the other is in the kind of the reports that are emerging from the Turkey suggest that the President Tayyip Erdogan is fearful of that the US intervention in Turkey. So I think in a broader picture, more countries would aspire to have nuclear weapons, and those countries who have already nuclear stockpile, they are going to expand it. In case of Pakistan, I think Pakistan probably has the third largest stockpile of the nuclear weapons in the world. And Pakistan understands that in the world politics, which is not being driven by any moral principle, it is being driven by the hard geo-strategic realities. The countries which are possessing more weapons, more sophisticated weapons, particularly nuclear weapons, they can better defend themselves. And that is the reason that Pakistan, they manufactured the tactical nuclear devices, which means those can be exploded within the range of 25-kilometer range. That suggests what is going to happen in years to come. The other countries are going to follow the same pattern. Now, Americans have been trying hard to de-nuke North Korea. North Korea is not going to demolish its nuclear arsenal. It's something next to impossible in a given situation. The moral principle is that there has to be global disarmament of the nuclear weapons. Now, Americans want that they want to expand their nuclear weapons. They want to make their missile system more sophisticated. They want to expand the outreach of their missiles in every part of the world. But they don't want Russia. They don't want North Korea. They don't want Pakistan. They don't want Iran to have the nuclear weapons. So with these kind of policies, this is a might is rights principle that the Americans are pursuing. But what Americans are not understanding, the Americans are no longer as big superpower, as big economic power as it used to be in the past. The way they've been defeated in Afghanistan, I'm taking back you to Afghanistan because that's a very interesting episode. They used every conceivable weapon to defeat Afghan Taliban. It didn't work. Now they are virtually having a surrender deal with Afghan Taliban. And then in the Middle East, Americans are behind the entire big mess. They started a war in Iraq. They wanted their mass destruction weapons that supposedly Saddam Hussein had. And now people are making fun of the Americans. There was nothing over there. So the underlying message that the Americans are giving to the third world countries, particularly third world countries, that if you don't have any nuclear weapons, your country is going to be destroyed. Like what happened in Libya, because Libya had agreed to the American proposal to dismantle its nuclear program. The net result was, after a couple of years, Libya was attacked by the Americans. So therefore, I think Iran would resist, certainly it would resist, and North Korea would certainly resist, and I think there is no question of Pakistan surrendering its nuclear weapons. But even Americans know that they cannot even negotiate with Pakistan on this issue. So in a broader picture, coming back to Russia, and
JAVED,
in case of Russia, yes.
I apologize. We're going to have to leave it there. We have run out of time. Geopolitical expert JAVED RANA, thank you for your time and your comments.